Hi guys, and welcome to the first episode of Salon Solutions in 60 Seconds. I'm Carla Jones, and welcome to We Create. I decided to go ahead and do this live because I actually got the first round of questions and I'm excited about it. So we're going to take the next few minutes, and actually I typically plan to do one, but the questions submitted by this particular person had 3 questions related to booth rental. So I decided I might as well do them all together and knock them out. And so I'm going to be reading the questions and answering them. So if you see me looking down, that's why. So let's just go ahead and jump in and get started. And I will mention the email address, but not the tail part of the email address. So these 3 questions were submitted by Tan Thompson. A few of the letters I've not included in her email address. And so the first question is, and they were very good questions, so that's why I decided to go live now. Hey guys, so I'm not sure who's out there, but if you have additional questions, please feel free to post them as I review this information, and I'll be glad to answer them as well. So the first question is, if you're a booth renter in a salon and you are required to only pay with cash, shouldn't you get a receipt from the owner on Monday if the booth rent is due on Saturday? The answer is absolutely yes. You should actually get a receipt anytime that you pay cash, regardless of the date that it's due on. Now, one of the things that I would probably recommend is you request a receipt. You require a receipt. Remember, as a booth renter, you are an independent business owner, just the same as the salon is a business owner. So because you are paying cash, because your cash payments are tax deductible, you do need a receipt. Now, if your salon owner or barber owner refuses to give you a receipt, this is how you get around that. By law, under irs.gov, so you can go to the website, irs.gov, and you can look under publication 4902. Because you are paying more than $600 per year in cash payments or payments toward rent, you are required to give at the end of the year the owner of the salon a 1099. I am not sure what this is, so let's get that off. You're required to give your owner a 1099. So in essence, what that's going to require you to do is you're going to be required to track your payments, whether they give you a receipt or not. Because once you give them a 1099 form at the end of the year, and that 1099 form, you also have a copy which will be or should be attached to your income tax papers that you file. That payment is tax deductible. It will also show up under IRS standards because you have listed this person's name, the address that you paid the money to. It will also sort of, send up a flag that, hey, this person received XYZ, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars this year in rental payments. But that 1099 allows you the proof and verification that you need outside of them giving you a receipt. So in essence, if I were the salon owner, I would go ahead and give you a receipt for it, because should you choose to give me a 1099 and you state that you paid me more than you actually did, there is no other proof. I don't know what is going on. I'm not sharing an experience. Why is this doing that? Okay, I'm sorry, guys. For some reason, my computer wants to keep jumping up with things. But anyway, so getting back to it. So in essence, you, as a booth renter, again, you are an independent salon owner. And I think what happens, people confuse their role. Booth renters and independent contractors are business owners who are running their business outside of somebody else's business. You are still an owner. You're still required to keep track of all your expenses. You're still required to file those. You can deduct those on your taxes, no different than they can. The only difference between you and them is that they actually have the lease for the building and you lease from them. Other than that, you should be operating independently. You should have your own business cards. You should have your own business name. You should be either sole proprietorship if you're not an LLC. You should be deducting. You should be buying your own products. You should be buying your own tools, your own sundries such as towels. All of those things you really need to be responsible for. And you also can set your own prices, even though I know some salons prefer that booth renters and everybody have the same price structure. But actually, as a business owner, you can set your own prices. So I'm just putting that out there. Now, question number 2, are booth renters required to pay booth rent when on maternity leave and you're not in the shop? Actually, yes. Again, though, this is the caveat to that. The owner, at their discretion, can say yay or nay. But because you are a business owner, and why is this doing this? I don't know. Because you are a business owner, then you're expected to pay rent unless the owner of the salon says that you're not. Just because you go on maternity leave does not give you a pass not to pay. Remember, if they are still holding that space, it's like you renting an apartment. This is what booth renter is. It's like you renting an apartment. If you go on vacation and you're gone for 3 weeks, they still want their rent money. It doesn't matter. You have a lease. Now, hopefully you have a booth renter's agreement that's in writing, and legally you should if you don't. So I'm just telling you that what you should have to protect yourself. But again, whether you're on maternity leave or not, whether you pay, it's at the discretion of the owner what they're willing to forego in lieu of you not being there for medical reasons, for vacations or any other things. But typically, if you are still, your things are still there and they're holding the space, then yes, you should be paying booth rent even though you're on maternity leave. And this is how I look at it when I was the owner, and not being funny or anything, but it takes you 9 months to deliver a baby. So if you're going to be out 2 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, you have 9 months to save 12 weeks or 6 weeks or however long you're going to stay out, enough rent to put away to pay your booth rent while you're gone. Now, there's another thing I would recommend that you do too, is check your insurance. You are qualified, or independent operators or business owners qualify for short-term disability. Maternity leave is short-term disability. I would speak to your insurance agent to find out exactly what the prices are on short-term disability. You can get short-term disability to cover your total bills while you're gone, and that won't be a problem. Most people don't know you can do that, and so you can, because you are an independent business owner. Now, the last question is, when booth renting while filing taxes, if you, the stylist, are working in the salon, are you required to have your own tax ID? No, you're not. Now, when I say tax ID, you're not required to have your own federal employment identification number, which is called an FEIN. If you want to get one, go to irs.gov, and it's form SS-4. Okay, so you don't have to have your own tax ID number if you are a sole proprietorship. I have a tax ID number. Yes, you will have a tax ID number if you're a corporation, limited liability, or an S Corp. As a sole proprietor, you still can get a tax ID number, and I would really recommend it. If you don't have a tax ID number, your social security number is what you use in absence of a tax ID number. If you are in business, I would recommend you go ahead and fill out the form. You actually can fill it out online, and they'll give you a tax ID number right then, or mail it to you, whichever one you desire. But so the answer to your question is, you don't have to have one, but I would recommend that you get one. And in lieu of a tax ID number, and it's called the FEIN, the Federal Employer Identification Number, if in lieu of that, use your social security number always, especially if you're a sole proprietor. So I hope, guys, that has helped with any questions that you have, and I've probably given you a little more information than you needed. So I thank you so much for joining me on the first segment of Salon Solutions in 60 Seconds, and I look forward to seeing you. So if you don't catch it here, please find the recording on YouTube. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.